Some men aren't looking for anything logical, like money. They can't be bought, bullied, reasoned, or negotiated with. Some men just want to watch the world burn.
And some men just want more video games and collectibles.
Hey everyone, it's the Jokester here, back for another video, and today we have Barry of Premium Edition Games, and
Wow!
graced us with another interview to talk about Series 4 and so many other awesome things. If you haven't seen the previous interview, you can see it on my channel. There'll be a link in the description to that. But without further ado, we'll let Barry take it away and introduce himself and tell you a bit about Premium Edition Games. So, Barry, take it away.
Hello, everybody, and thank you again for having me, Jokester, and Grace present. You're the one who's gracing me with your presence, so I don't want to hear any of that. So yeah, for those of you that don't know, Premium Edition Games, we are a physical publisher for the Nintendo Switch, where we take digital-only titles and we release them out physically. So we already have 7 titles that have, been sent out. Our first 3 series. And we're on our 4th series of titles right now, which is Wonderling DX and Rain in Your Parade. And we have a lot of cool stuff in the wings as well. We just like doing cool things. We're all collectors, and we just like to make versions of games and put out games that we really want in our own personal collections, and we think everyone else will too.
Yeah, there's a lot of awesome games that y'all have come out with. Speaking of that, I literally got a package from y'all yesterday. It kind of just came like a ninja out of the cloud. It's like, I didn't get no tracking. What's this? And then I saw the premium packaging on there, and I was like, it's the logo. It's premium edition. So I'm gonna have that unboxing for that, and we'll see what's inside. I love how y'all have the logo of Premium Edition on the box. It just makes you more excited to open it because you're like, oh, it's finally here. I can open it and get it.
Yeah, that's our new shipping department. They are doing exceptional work. They are small, but they are mighty, and we're very gracious and very thankful to have them as part of the team. And we just, we're also very thankful for everyone's patience as they slowly get all these orders out.
Yeah, I've been seeing everybody get their games on Twitter and in the Facebook group. It's really exciting to see everybody open it and get so happy about the new packaging, the new slip boxes. Oh, those look so nice. I really like the new packaging. It looks great, and the glossy, shiny manuals. It really feels premium.
Well, that's actually, it's something we wanted to do, and that's also, besides the real world issues going on with COVID and supply chains and all that stuff. It's one of the things we wanted to do, and it also led to the increase in price that we had to do, and I know a lot of people were upset about that. And an unfortunate thing is we wanted to have Series 3 in everyone's hands before we did the Series 4 Direct, but because we had to switch warehouses, that was delayed. So since then, I've seen a bunch of people, so I totally understand that. Once you get your hands on it, once you see the quality upgrade, so it was just an unfortunate thing. We wanted to have it out sooner, and we just were not able to do it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I've saw people on social media after the latest direct, which was awesome. I love the direct. I still love that y'all use the little cartoon Saturday morning cartoon characters. I like it. I see some people go, oh, this is kind of cheesy, but I like that. I like that because nobody else is doing that, and maybe I like a little cheese.
Yeah. It's one of those things where, some people like it, some people don't. And I get that. Everyone has different tastes. Like if you sit there and you worry about everybody's opinion, right? You will get nothing done. Nothing. It will never happen because you can't please everybody. You can't make everyone happy. And it's the same with games. I've seen people say, "Oh, well, I'm not a fan of this game." Okay, maybe this game isn't for you, but that doesn't mean the game isn't right for somebody else. But at the same time, I've seen the polar opposite, right? Where I've seen people submit challenge patch submissions where they're like, I'll be honest with you, I only bought this game because it was a small print. And I'm guilty of that too. So I understand. And I thought the challenge patch was a neat idea, so I decided to open the game to try it. Let me get the challenge patch. Why not? And I can't put the game down. And this is now one of my new favorite games, and I want to thank you for introducing it to me. And I've seen that more each series, and I love it. I love it because we go slowly, right? Every release we put out it has to be something we love. We're not going to sit there and say, "Oh, this game is not very good, so let's sink our money into it. Let's sink our reputation into it." Like, no, each of these games is something that we as a team feel passionately about. We love. We find there's a lot of fun. We find there's a lot of value there, and we want to put front and center because these games are passion projects by very talented developers. And so if you see a premium edition release, it's what they say with the Nintendo seal quality. It's like, oh, well, does that really mean much anymore? And no, because they put on everything. But with us, it does because we only put out a few games every year. So it does. That means we're all behind it. You may not like that genre, and that's okay. Like there's genres I don't like. Like that's fine. That's normal. You're not gonna be pleased. And it's the same with the corniness or the cheesiness or anything like that. Like sometimes that gets you, and sometimes you get a little crack a smile and a laugh, and sometimes it doesn't do it for you, and that's okay. It is what it is.
I see. I see a lot of people will spend a lot of time complaining that a game doesn't cater to them. And that always baffles me. I've been wanting to have maybe a discussion video about that on my YouTube channel at some point. It always baffles me because I'm like, there's millions, billions of games out there. Not every game is going to appeal to everybody because not every movie or every song or every artwork appeals to everybody. If it did, the world would kind of be boring because everything would be the same, and I don't want everything to be the same. I want things to be different. I want things to be unique.
You don't want the world to conform to everybody else?
No, I want people to skip to their own beat and do their own thing because creativity is the spice of life. You'll see something that you think, that's not really for me, and then you'll try it and you're like, wow, this really blew me away. I'll watch a show that I would have never thought I would like, and then I end up really liking it. Or I'll listen to a song that is for a genre I don't really care for, but then I end up loving it. It's just a nice surprise. So I like when there's variety and there's more options out there. I don't want everything to be for just me. I want there to be something for everybody. So
you know what?
I like
that's good. Not everybody realizes that, unfortunately, but that is a very good and healthy mentality. And you're right. Like there's infinite of like different genres and different tastes and different styles, and everybody is absolutely going to have what they like, and there's nothing wrong with liking what you like. And there's nothing wrong with saying I only play platformers, and that's all I'm going to play. So if it's not a platformer, I don't want to play it, and I spend my time playing platformers. You know what? There's nothing wrong with that. We all have limited gaming time, and you should absolutely play what you enjoy playing. But if you're feeling a little open to try something new, especially right now, right? You have the gaming industry, thanks to the indies, you have defined genres, but you have so many titles that blur the lines between those genres. Like, this is, Demon Seer. You have action, you got like twin stick shooter, you got the roguelike, you got the RPG elements. It's not like one defined genre. It's of multiple different genres. So as you see more and more games that blend these genres together, you're gonna have a more diverse portfolio. And if you just want a standard action game, that's getting harder and harder to find. If you just want a standard platformer, that's harder to find. Even sports, like I just want an arcade sport game. That's harder to find because the simulation sports games are adding in like RPG story modes and stuff like that. So, so you're seeing this, and I mean, like Super Blood Hockey we put out. That's a freaking RPG. It's got a full RPG franchise mode.
I know, because I would have never normally played a hockey game. I would not have touched that. I don't really like sports games. I don't like realistic racing games. Did you give me something like a kart racer with power-ups and explosions like Twisted Metal? I'm all for that. Because there's something for everybody. Everybody likes different things.
Exactly, and that's where you really, sometimes you have to go out of your comfort zone, and I think if right now, for example, if you were like no more games, you couldn't purchase any more games, that's it, but you got one system, we'll say the Switch, you couldn't get any other system, just the Switch's library that we currently have today, meaning from 2017 till 2022. If that's the only options of games you can play, and I do count digital only titles and I do count the NSO titles, if that's all you can play, you would probably not be most likely not be able to play everything that's already there, like before you die. Like you just wouldn't be able to. Now that would probably have you trying games out of your comfort zone, but you wouldn't be able to play them all just in that one system. There's so many games. Now that's not counting any games releasing tomorrow and onwards. And that's just again the Switch. That's now you throw in the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, and any of the retro systems. There's too many games out as of now that there's not enough time. So if a game isn't for you, the game isn't for you. But if you're unsure, sometimes it's great to try it. I'll give you an example. I'm not a big Souls fan, right? I tried Dark Souls, didn't really like it. I tried Demon Souls, I didn't really like it. I did Demon Souls first, actually. I didn't do Dark Souls 2 or 3. I tried Bloodborne because I was like, oh, this is different. I didn't like it. Elden Ring comes out. I'm like, oh, I'm not really hyped on it because of my experience. But after I did, a couple other games, I'm like, let me try Elden Ring. Fine, I'll see what the big hubbub is. I ordered it, and I put it in, and I played the game for over 100 hours, and I loved it, and I beat it, and I never thought I would. And it was a game that I was like, I had no interest in whatsoever. I was just, all right, let me check it out. Everyone's talking about it. I'll give it a chance, and I fell in love with it. So it happens to all of us, myself included, giving games a chance.
Yeah, I used to not like survival horror. I remember back in the PS1 when Resident Evil first came out, my uncle, may he rest in peace, he bought Resident Evil 2, and I had never played anything like that. I was always into like platformers like Crash Bandicoot or Spyro or little RPGs. And he brought that over, and it absolutely terrified me. I remember that scene where the helicopters crash in the police station, and that zombie is coming out of the fire, on fire, trying to get you, and it just terrified me. It terrified me so much that I was even scared to like see him when he would come down to visit, which kind of breaks my heart. But the game really just scared me for the longest time. But so I swore off those kind of games. But then I have a friend, my friend Kristen, she's big into horror, and she got me to give it a chance, and now I love the series. I love the series. I remember playing Resident Evil 4 a little bit in college, and I thought, well, this is actually kind of cool. It's not so bad, but I just stayed away from it completely. But then I gave it a chance, and now it's one of my favorite genres. So it's good to give things a chance and not just stick to only those things that appeal to you, because as you get older, your tastes change and you can appreciate things in a way you may not have before. So I
Absolutely.
always try to keep that door open a bit.
That's smart. There's plenty of genres that, like, survival horror is one that I'm not a big fan of, and there's a few titles that I've played that were classified as survival horrors, and I was like, you know what? I went into this game thinking I'm not gonna like it, and I wound up really enjoying it. Is it something that oh my God, I'm gonna play all the time? No, but it was still one of those things that was just really cool because I didn't expect to walk away and enjoy this. And I did. So you never know.
What can you tell us a bit about the Series 4 releases? Can
Okay.
you explain the games to us a little bit? What they're each about, how they play, what can people expect?
Yeah, of course. So we have two games that are part of Series 4, which is Wonderling DX. And Wonderling DX is a puzzle platformer where you play the role of a Wonderling, which is the equivalent of a Goomba. And your job is to defeat Carrot Man, which is the equivalent of Mario. And to do this, you go from level to level, and you get different power-ups. You get the ability to jump, you get wings, you get dash, you get all these different power-ups to get through each level. And it's a puzzle because you have to figure out, how to get to the exit, and sometimes that requires getting keys and other items. And there's a bunch of hidden items, there's hidden exits, there's hidden levels. There's just so much to this game, and the humor is fantastic. It's very well written, fun story. It plays on the tropes and makes fun of the tropes of platforming games, and it's just, there's so much to it. And if you want to go for 100%, you'll be rewarded with the completionist. If you know the completionist on YouTube, you get rewarded with his beard as a you got the ability to say, I completed this 100%, and that is a tough task. This game is the definition of one more try. Like, it's like when you fail, it's like, oh, all right, one more try, I got it, I can do it this time. So it is an excellent puzzle platformer. Beautiful 16-bit style, graphics, wonderful music. And there's a demo of this. So if this is something where you're like, I don't know, try the demo. Like, that's the best thing. And then we have Rain Your Parade, which is something that pictures and even the trailer, they don't really do it justice. This is one of those things that when you play it, it just resonates. It's such a fun game. You play a cloud, cardboard cloud, suspended by strings, and you're an asshole. And you get to be an asshole to everybody, and you get to destroy environments. You get to use different cloud-based powers besides rain, or I should say, in addition to rain, like lightning and wind, and you get to do all these crazy things. You get to set fires and blow up environments, and you get every level. You get different objectives. You try and accomplish the objectives to complete the levels, and sometimes there's optional objectives, and there's levels based on different TV shows like The Office, and different games like Silent Hill and Metal Gear Solid and Legend of Zelda, and it's just a ton of fun. There's so many levels, and then our version comes with the paid DLC on the cart, so you get all the additional levels that the DLC adds, different modes, like there's the golf, like mini golf, and you get the commentary, and you get all the extra bonus stuff. You're getting the complete game on the cart. Same with Wonderling. Wonderling DX has all the DX content on the cart, and that's the way we want it. We want both these games preserved.
Yeah, I played the demo for Wonderling, and I like the story. I like the music. I like the graphics. The characters definitely seem funny. I love the little cow with the camera.
Yep.
It's just so cute. I'll be honest, those hardcore platformer games are just not my bread and butter. They are like my Dark Souls. I just rage at them. But it has such a charm to it, and the story is so interesting that you want to see it through. So maybe you won't be that good at it. Maybe you'll struggle. Maybe you'll get frustrated, and you have to put it down for a little bit and come back. But it still feels really rewarding. And getting the little unlockables is nice. In the demo, you can find the little chests and get these little costume unlockables, and I got little Sonic shoes and Sonic spikes, and I was running around like Sonic the Hedgehog, and it was really adorable. And Rain on Your Parade, when I saw that, I just sat there bewildered and I laughed, because if anybody has seen, I have worked my ass off since October of last year to about last month, working on a premium edition kind of parody movie that makes fun of itself with the blessing of premium edition. Barry had a little cameo in there. I love that part. And is all about the premium cloud from the earlier directs torturing me to buy their games, and then here is a game that y'all are putting out about a cloud that does the same damn thing, and I'm just like, this is so uncanny. How did they keep this from me this whole time, all of these months? How? So I was like, I have to get this game. I have to get this game just because of how crazy that is, how serendipitous that all is. That's awesome.
What's also funny is in your video, the cloud is an asshole to you.
Yeah.
And that's it. You get to be the asshole cloud.
Yeah. I given the game the subtitle Premium Edition Cloud, the video game. Like, it's just I need a customized box that says that on there, because it's just, and then maybe my face transposed on it like I'm running away in horror or something. That would just be, I would just love that. Maybe I need to have somebody do that for me on SD or something. That'd be great. But can you tell us what comes with each game? Because with Premium Edition, there's always premium quality and premium goodies. So let everybody know what they get if they order the different versions of the games.
Sure. So we have our premium standard, which is $50, and that comes with the full color inlay. So both sided, it's two-sided inlay. You get the full color manual, the new higher quality manual. You get the challenge card, so you can earn your respected challenge patch. You also get your slipcover, the high quality slipcover, and our brand new sleeves. You get the whole thing. And as a pre-order bonus, you're also getting a dog tag, so that's for both versions. You get the Wonderling dog tag, or you get the Rain Your Parade dog tag. Then the retro editions is where they differ. So the retro editions are $70. They have all the same stuff as the standards, including the pre-order dog tag right now. But then they have additional things. So the Wonderling DX, you get that retro inspired box. It's like a horizontal SNES style box, and you get the enamel pin. You get the stickers, which are like fatheads, so they're reusable stickers. You get the soundtrack, and you get all that housed together, and the inlay art is like kind of like a custom cover. You get to use the fathead stickers on. It's really cool. And then with Rain Your Parade, you also get the retro box, which is, instead of the horizontal, it's the vertical alignment, more like an NES, with beautiful art on it. You get the thick cloudy coaster. You get the vinyl cloud kit, which is, you kind of make your own little cloud if you want, and whatever face and hair you want to put in there. And you also get an enamel pin, and these all come together in a beautiful package, and they are going to look really good next to all the other retros from Series 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, they all the little goodies in there. It's really cool. People that spring for that extra bonuses are going to be quite happy with what they get. And everybody that's getting their Series 3 right now, man, you are in for quite a treat with the manual for Cathedral. The hand-drawn guide. It's awesome. And then the manual is so glossy and shiny. It's just absolutely beautiful.
What's nice is that all these retro editions, this is what the developers want. So we pretty much, when we do a retro, we task the developers and say, here's what we have, what do you want? And they tell us what they would like. And as long as we can get it, for them, we're going to do what we can. The idea is for everything to fit in the box. Sometimes it doesn't always work, but that's the goal. And we want to make sure that developers get their games in the version that they want. So this is what the developer would like. This is their dream version of the game, and that's what you get to order.
I really like that. You see so many collector's editions now, and they'll come out and they'll have a bunch of stuff in it. And sometimes it just feels like they're a little slapped together, and then the price doesn't really equivalent to what you're getting. You don't really feel like you're getting much bang for your buck. I like the idea that the developers who make the game get to say what goes into the edition. They get to have something that they would want on their personal shelf from the game they made that they're proud of. It just makes it even more special. Even more special.
And that's not to say that everyone's going to fall in love with every single retro edition, or, and say like, oh, I want this one, but this one doesn't do it for me. And that's fine too. Again, we're talking about tastes. Everyone is different, but just know that this isn't like, hey, we're going to do this edition and we're throwing X, Y, and Z in here because we can throw X, Y, and Z in here. We say, hey, what do you want? Oh, you want this? You want this? You want this? This is what we want. And if there's still room and we say, hey, you got everything you want, how about we throw in an additional item? For example, with Robot Named Fight with the deluxe, we asked Matt and he's like, here's what I want. We got everything working. We said, let's throw in a bonus item. And we polled everybody and we said, hey, what do you want? And they chose an additional card game as a bonus, and we were able to make that happen. We were able to fit it in there. Boom, you get an additional item. So we won't take it away, we'll always add.
That was a nice surprise when I saw that. It was like a card game that I could play with my friend when she comes down to visit. That sounds badass to me. And the people that made the card game, they have other expansion packs, I think, with some other game characters. So it actually helps them because they're going to get new customers. They're going to be interested in these other expansions that I believe can be played with the Robot Named Fight cards that are included in there. So, you could amass a big collection of all these trading cards in this card game, which is really, really cool. I like that y'all are doing the games justice, all the things that go into it. And then I also like that y'all have been having developer interviews. I believe you just posted one the other day with the developer of Rain on Your Parade.
That is correct. Yeah, we try every single series to do interviews with every developer so that they can tell their story. We had one planned for Wonderling, but the developers have been very, very busy. So unfortunately, we haven't had a time to get together. But I was able to meet with Yakub from Unbound Creations and be able to get that one out there. So I do recommend it. It's a great interview, and we like to do that because it's just something to let them tell their story, right? The game is their vision, but there's always a story behind the game, and we want to tell their story behind the game and let everybody get to know them. Why should they care? Especially if it's a game we're talking about, maybe it's a game that's not of your genre, right? This doesn't appeal to me. But maybe it will if you hear their story. Well, find out what went behind it, what went on to create it, and who the people are behind it. And maybe you'll say, yeah, you know what? That's something that maybe I'll give a chance. I like the story. Or maybe you won't, and that's still okay. But we just want to tell that story. We want to bridge that gap. We really want to connect the gamers to the developers because they're the real rock star. I'm not a rock star. The premium team aren't rock star. What we're doing is we're just trying to give the real rock stars, the developers, their games that they invented, they developed a physical, release and the treatment that they deserve.
You don't really see the developers that make your favorite games. I mean, sure, on social media, there's the big major rock stars like Nomura from Square Enix, Kingdom Hearts, or Kojima, Metal Gear Solid, Death Stranding. So you see them, but there's so many other developers out there that you will never meet, you will never see. They're kind of behind the scenes. You'll see the company logo, but you really won't see the person that made this game. And there's a lot of games that come out that I've kind of researched about, found out the story behind of it, and then tried to see who the developer was to learn about them, because I really love the game. It really impressed me. And I wanted to know more. And sometimes there's just nothing. Sometimes there's very little information to go off of, and it's kind of sad because these people busted their ass to make these games, and sometimes it's a team of one person, maybe two people, and then you play it and you're like, oh my goodness, this is better than some of these giant multi-million-dollar AAA games I've played. I need to know who made this. I want to pat them on the back and say, hey, I loved your game. I want to support you. You ever thought about having a physical copy? Is there some way that I can get something, some memorabilia of it? So I'm all for that. I'm really glad and really appreciative that y'all give the developers the spotlight that they deserve, because I feel a lot of developers don't. And you hear all kinds of stories about crunch time and horrible work conditions, and it's really sad, because these people, they're artists. They're making dreams come true in the form of video games, and it should be appreciated, not neglected or hidden from people.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's something that, you know, we don't really look at. A lot of people don't look at or think about. They'll think about the big names, right? You mentioned like Kojima, or Suda51, or Miyamoto and all that stuff, but there's so many people. It's not just them. There's so many people that go into making a game. You see the credits, and the credits are just a list and list of people, and a lot of times you have no idea who those are. And when you're dealing with smaller studios, like a lot of the ones we're dealing with, it's like a 1, 2, maybe 3-person team. They're doing everything, so it's not just like, oh, well, I'm the graphic designer and that's all I do. Well, no, you do the graphic design, and maybe you do the voice work, or maybe you do level design, and maybe you do the music as well. Like, people wear many hats in a small company, in a small development studio. So these are the fact that these games even came out just shows the passion that these developers had to make these games, and we want to highlight that.
Yeah, I mean, I have game ideas in my head. Like, I'm a pretty imaginative person. I remember being a kid, I'd just sit there for what seemed like hours just imagining all kinds of crazy things. But I don't have the skills to actually make it. I wish I did, because I have some really awesome game ideas that would probably blow people's minds, but I can't put it into a actual game. And these people can. They're much more talented than me, and they deserve to have some appreciation. It shouldn't just be like, oh, how's your game doing? Did it sell a lot digitally? And then people pay like a second to it and ignore it. It's just not right. There's one game I discovered recently. I shared it with Frank, because the Dead Space remake's coming out, and then I don't know if you watched the State of Play. I'm pretty sure you did.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to discuss that with you while I have you on here. The Callisto Protocol, getting these really cool horror games, like Dead Space. The original, some of the original team is working on that, which is really exciting. But there is another Dead Space-like game that I've discovered. It is really amazing what they're doing, and it's called Negative Atmosphere. It looks phenomenal, and it's been in development for quite a while. And I found their YouTube channel, found their Discord, joined it, watched some of their old trailers and videos, and I am really impressed by what they're doing. But I don't think anybody is really paying attention to it, because you got the Dead Space remake, you got Callisto Protocol, you got the big AAA studios that are taking up all the space, and a lot of these smaller teams, smaller developers that kind of just fly under the radar. And that's why it's so important that if you see a game that you really love or you really think is cool, you share it with people. You tell the developers how much you love this, how much you want to see it. Maybe get a physical release. It's important because these kind of developers used to not have a platform at all. They would be working on something private, before the internet really blew up. They didn't really have a place to share what they had, and now they do. So it's really important that if you see a game you really like or you really love, share it out there and reach out to the developers and maybe see if you can help them get their game more recognition. That's one of the best things that you can do besides just purchasing a game.
That's very true. Obviously purchasing a game helps and sales help, but also name recognition and word of mouth and public reception and all that stuff help, especially if you ever want to see sequels to certain games.
Moving on from Premium, like I mentioned earlier about the State of Play. Did you watch the State of Play?
I did.
Were there games there that you really liked? What did you think about the overall show? Because I know you are collecting a full set for Switch, but you also have a lot of other consoles and love plethora of different kind of games. You have love for all the platforms. So what did you enjoy about it? What didn't you enjoy about it? Which are the games that you're looking most forward to? Just tell us a bit about that.
For me, I thought the State of Play was okay. I thought it had some pacing issues. Sony still hasn't learned how to do presentations in that regards, and I think they're still learning, and that's okay. There were some good games for sure. For me, highlights are like Final Fantasy 16. It was a definite highlight. Interested to see how Horizon VR works. Enter Night looks phenomenal. And then there are also titles that I know other people went crazy for, like Resident Evil 4 Remake. To me, that did nothing for me. Nothing at all. Never really interested. Same with Resident Evil 8 in VR. People went crazy for it. For me, nothing. And that's okay. I'm happy for those people. I'm not like, how dare they show this? This doesn't interest me. It's more of, hey, I'm happy that other people get what they want, because not every presentation, every game is for you. There was a lot of great stuff across the board. It did go quickly. There was, I saw that Dead Space style game you were talking about. I thought it was Dead Space at first, but again, I'm not big into. Yeah, I'm not enough survival horror. To me, it didn't do anything. But again, if that's your jam, survival horror ate well. That State of Play was a lot of survival horror. The Walking Dead had a VR game as well. So, I'm happy for all of those gamers. I'm not gonna be like, how dare you get something, blah blah blah. I'm happy with what I got. There's so many games like I was just talking about. So it's nice when there's only a couple that I'm really interested in that I can piece together with what the other consoles have on their plate and other developers have on their plate, because it sucks when like 2 or 3 games come out that you really been looking forward to all at the same time, and then you have to pick and choose which one you play, and then you have to go to the next one and the next one, and maybe other games come out in between, and then the backlog just grows. And it's kind of nice when you can not have to rush through a game. Like if 3 games come out the same day that you all want to play, whatever one you pick first, while you're playing and enjoying it, in the back of your head, you're still, I still need to play these other games. So you may rush through, you may not give it the attention it deserves. So I kind of like having that little bit of breathing room.
Yeah. I felt like when Horizon Forbidden West dropped, it's like Elden Ring was either. Yeah, it was like It's like I haven't even got to that yet, and I still need to go back to Elden Ring. Oh my goodness, there's just too many games to keep up with. But State of Play, they did show a lot of amazing games. There was something for everybody there. I want to touch on Stray, that little cute cat game.
Yes, Jay looks good.
Adorable. I want to play that. I did a reaction on my YouTube of it, and I was saying how cool would it be if they could work with Sega and Atlas to get like a DLC bonus or pre-order bonus where you're Morgana from Persona 5.
Oh, love it.
The game. That would be so cool. I would love it. I would love that. And maybe even have some Persona music in there somewhere. That'd be great. I don't know if that's even possible, but I'm cheerleading for that. And then Tunic, the little fox Zelda-looking game, that looked phenomenal. I love that. And that one game that really surprised me was Seasons. It looked gorgeous, and the music, I want to experience it. I don't really play a lot of games like that. They're more cinematic, emotional kind of ones. There's some that I do like, but most of them I kind of just tune them out. But this one, I wanted to go right into that. I was like, that is awesome. I want to try that. And the games you mentioned as well. I was really surprised by the anime action, what is it, love type visual novel game. Eternights. I keep forgetting the name, but that music I was jamming to it. I love that soundtrack. I was like, this game is really cool. I love how they're meshing up genres now. A few years ago, you would have never got a visual novel that's meshed with like an action RPG like Kingdom Hearts or like Scarlet Nexus, but that's what it seems like. It feels like Scarlet Nexus with a romance visual novel, and I'm all for that. That looks phenomenal to me.
Is it gone?
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's again, like I was saying before about mixing genres, and you're seeing that. I mean, when visual novels, even a genre that I know so many people were like, oh, I don't like visual novels because it's just reading, and there are absolutely visual novels that are like that, and that's how the series. I wouldn't say the series started that way, but a lot of them were very similar. But there's so many visual novels out there now that, again, as a genre I didn't even know I would love, and I do love it because they add in things, and sometimes it's subtle things like Steins Gate, where it's just like text messages, and sometimes it's really advanced things like the Zero Escape series, where you have escape rooms, or Danganronpa, where you've got court cases. I love that, and to see more games utilize a mixture and a blend, and this obviously has some flares of like Persona and Tokyo Xanadu and stuff like that. That's cool. I really want to see them lean into it, and I'm curious to see how it plays.
Me too. And it's interesting you brought that up because I recently got my first VGP order. I know y'all are partnering with them. I did an unboxing for that. I tried to make it really funny. It was a really fun video. Not too long after that, here's my package. Here's my package.
Won't somebody please think of the children?
And I picked up a visual novel because it was on sale, called Raging Loop. It's a horror-based one.
Raging Loop is amazing.
Is it?
Amazing. I could not put down that game for 4 days straight. I had to play it through to completion. It is so good. It is so good. It blew me away. And it's one of those games where you have the flowcharts, and really you have to play through, get a bad ending, go back and change things to get through all the endings, and you get like different keywords, and you get knowledge. You get to like keep the knowledge that you learn. But oh my god, is that game addicting? And it's all story. It's literally just reading, and you have the visual images, and it's suspenseful. And again, I don't like survival horror, and I could not put that game down. I was addicted. Like I would sit there and I would like if I had a 6-hour session and I would read for 6 hours straight. It was like a good book. It is so good, and I highly recommend everyone play it and try it. And I'm excited to hear what you think about it.
Well, that makes me even more excited to play it because it didn't look like it had a lot of. I mean, it has visual novels has their following, so those people. But overall, it didn't look like it blew up. So it's nice to hear that it's kind of I guess a hidden under the radar gem. But they had the day one edition, and I got it, and I don't really like the big slice of life, Atome romance visual novels.
Yeah.
I can't do those. But I did love Danganronpa, and I do love suspenseful, oh my gosh, what's going to happen kind of visual novels. I knew this was like a horror one or had some suspense to it, so I wanted to get that one. But the fact that I say that, and then here is the state of play, and then you got this visual novel that's an action RPG and a romance visual novel, which does not appeal to me. Now I have a game that's going to appeal to me. And I love that because they're blending the genres of things that I probably wouldn't care for with things that I do to make me interested. And I just love that. I think that's so awesome.
Well, I think a lot of people may not even realize with the romance how much it does trigger for them in a good way. I mean, Persona, of course. You got Scarlet Nexus. You mentioned there's relationships there. There's a little bit of romance, but it's more relationships. But then you look at games like Mass Effect and Dragon Age, BioWare games, Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic, right? You have relationships there. You have legit sex scenes there. It's one of those things where, is it the major focus? Do you have to do it? No, but it really adds to your level of immersion. So I'm really interested to see that. And Raging Loop actually does kind of a thing. It really makes you question things. It's I can't wait to hear your thoughts. But yeah, like Eternite seems like it's going the Persona Tokyo Xanadu route and that. And I don't know how deep they're going to go. And of course, I have problems with these too. And my biggest problem with them is the romance sections. Like if you ever play Persona 5, phenomenal game, recommend Royal. It's great because you get to romance whomever you want, you get to build the relationship, and that's phenomenal. Just seeing these characters interact with Joker and the way Joker interacts with them. But then you get to another cutscene, a story cutscene, and all the characters act like they're just friends, like there's no romance. Like there's nothing at all. So it's like you go from one scene where the character says, "I love you," to another one where they're teasing like, "Oh, I bet you'd like that person over there." And it's like, what the heck? It's like so jarring. And I hate that. I wish, because the script is written like if you romance nobody, and then only for those private moments does it really affect it. And I hate that. And then you have the polar opposite things, which is like Trails of Cold Steel 3, where you can romance in the Cold Steel games, and Cold Steel 1 leads into Cold Steel 2, and Cold Steel 2 you can romance anyone differently, but your romance from 1 still carries over, and that you get more of a connection. But when you get to 3, because 3 was now built for the PS4, not for the Vita, it didn't have, like, you couldn't import your save from 2 to 3. So to combat that, because you couldn't, they just acted like Reen, your character, romanced everybody. So like everybody is like, oh yeah, we're in a relationship. And now again, you could romance anybody again, but they all act like, oh, we were together and now we're kind of not anymore. And it's like, and they even joke like, wow, you get around. And it's like, no, but I didn't. I only romanced one character in Cold Steel 1 and 2. Why you make me into a whore? What the heck?
I did not know that. My friend Tyler, Dark Chaser, I love him. He's been a friend for a long time. He was not interested in Kosa. He had to try it like 3 or 4 times before it hooked him. And then he's become the biggest super fan ever, even buying the expensive $200 anime statue. Not tell me any of that. But he's really good at being like hush hush. He doesn't want to spoil anything. So that's interesting and funny.
Yep.
I can't believe they did that. That is so weird.
Because they did it so that like if you just jumped in, because 3 is a starting point, so you could jump in at 3, and it's kind of like okay, you know he's got a history with these other characters, and clearly is like a ladies' man kind of deal, and it's like but if you play the other ones, it's even more jarring because it's like wait no, like we're friends and that's it, and I never romanced this person, but now they're like jumping down my throat and what they want to jump my bones. What's going on here? I didn't sign up for any of this.
Oh, that's crazy. I did want to ask, being a limited publisher, are there other limited publishers that you really like? Are there any other limited publisher releases that are coming out you're excited for? I know Limited Run Games just had their kind of
Hmm.
really cool VHS style direct. I really liked the presentation of that. I thought it
It was,
was very
it was
interesting. I don't like
FMV
games
game.
like that at all. I will not play those. I just don't. But seeing it in a video that played out at the presentation was nice. I like that.
Oh, those games are always great just to go back and watch the video clips of it because it's all like B acting and it's really funny. But no, I like them all. I support them all. I don't think there's a limited publisher that I haven't purchased from. I do like. I think the only one that I've actually like stopped purchasing from is Signature Edition, and that's mainly because their games get standard releases. They're European, so a lot of them get US releases, and I'm a US collector first. And their boxes used to be so nice and compact, and then they just jumped in size, like huge. And that's great if you got the room and you want to display them. I don't, so I'm like I can't. I don't have the room for these. But yeah, I support them all. I buy from everyone. I think everyone's doing a great job. Is everyone perfect? No, but I think I've become more understanding for a lot of the things since I've gotten into the industry myself. Consumer versus, a like-minded person. Like I get it. Like, I understand there's delays. I understand shipping might be slow. I understand you might have to weigh production issues. I get all that. I get all that way more now than I did, and I have more respect for all of them. And you know what? I think they're great. And here's why. I mentioned multiple times there's too many games. There's just so many games out there, and we go slowly. We only do a couple a year. We could never give every game the attention that they deserve. It's unfortunate. I would love to do it, but it just would never be able to do it. Wouldn't be feasible. So it's great that if we can't help a developer get their game out physically, that somebody else can help that developer get their games out physically, and it's awesome. It's absolutely awesome that we're in this state of the industry where there's such a demand for physical releases when everyone was crying for the age of digital and digital releases and physical media is gone and then you're seeing this like renaissance, this bounce back. So you know well, do I think every company's perfect? No. Do I think we're perfect? No. I don't think anyone's perfect, but I do appreciate and respect every single company out there, and I'm very grateful for every single company out there. I'll tell you who doesn't like every single company out there, my wallet. My wallet absolutely hates all those companies because it costs a lot of money, but I do appreciate and I'm happy to have each of their releases in my collection.
Oh yeah, I agree. There's things that I've grumbled about or got frustrated about online because that's just me. I'm vocal. I apologize. Sometimes I get a little too heated, too passionate for my own good.
I've
I'm
done that
a,
too. Yeah. Well,
I,
you know what?
I love
You're
my own.
passionate because you care. Passion means you care, and we've all done it. We've all. I think every single person on the planet has gotten heated or passionate or infused with a little bit of juice, and you say things you may not mean. I mean, that's why when two people maybe get into a heated you know topic, a lot of times the best thing to do is step away, cool down, and then revisit the situation when you have kind of cooler heads. As I say, cooler heads prevail. So it happens. You've done it, I've done it, we've all done it. um the important thing is to understand that it's not the norm, it's heated, and realize that, apologize for it, and move on. And you know what, if you can't hold yourself accountable. That's it. Own your mistakes. You make mistakes. You're a human. We all make mistakes. If you don't learn from those mistakes, that's when it becomes a problem. But you have to make mistakes to learn and grow. That's just a fact.
I agree. I don't know if I've purchased from every limited publisher. There's still some that I wanted to, but it's just like I haven't been able to. Like I always get confused about the one, was it First Print? They have the one that put out like
One print and First Press are really confusing.
Yeah, I confused the heck out of both of those. Their names are too similar. I wish one of them would rebrand or something. No offense, it's just y'all's names are too damn similar. I can't keep it straight. But I wanted to import a couple of games from them. I just haven't been able to. It's like every time I turn around, somebody else has another game that I want, or there's collectors in it. I'm just like, oh, I can't afford it all. But I've been buying limited releases for a long time. I think most of my collection is probably limited run games. I think my first release from them was Shadow Complex on the PS4, and I've been buying from them ever since. I had my complaints and issues. I made vocal about some things. I still wish they would slow down just a little bit, just for my wallet's sake. But their direct, or their LRG presentation the other day, I thought they showed some pretty cool things that I liked. I'm just really super excited for the Ninja Turtles release. And when Josh said they're going to have the actual pizza coupon in there, and then I guess a collector's edition, I think with a clamshell steelbook, as a Shredder action figure like the ones I used to play with when I was a little kid, that got me really excited. I just hope it's priced reasonably and not super duper duper expensive, because I don't think my wallet can handle it. And I still have a large purchase that I need to make with them. But there were some pretty solid things there. And then there was things that didn't really interest me, but there's something for everybody. They showed a lot of games with a lot of variety. So I think all the limited publishers, for better or worse, they're doing great things. They're getting games out that wouldn't normally get a physical, and we're getting a variety of stuff, even some classic things that I never thought would come back. Like if you had told me we would ever see a release of Bill and Ted again, I would have just laughed at you, because I think those games are objectively bad from what I hear. I've never played them.
They're LJN.
That's what I hear.
I thought we were past LJN. I thought they were gone. But you know what? Here's the thing. If that's what they want to do, then that's what they're gonna do. I mean, it's just like that. Like we were just talking about how not every game's for everybody. Then I'm sure there used to be a YouTube channel. I don't know what ever happened to it, called the LJN Defender. And exactly the polar opposite of like angry video game nerd who tore LJN apart, and most people did. So exactly, there's an audience. There's an audience for every game, and more games is just a healthier industry.
I completely 100% agree. I guess to wrap it up, because we're coming up to an hour here, is there any final words you'd like to say to everybody that has stuck with us through this whole video? Parting words, parting wisdom.
Parting words, parting wisdom. I would just like to say, first off, thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to this. And if you haven't already, picked up your copies of Series 4, Series 4 titles, premiumeditiongames.com, make sure to grab them before pre-order windows close. If you missed out on Series 3, we do have Series 3 limited copies left on the website as part of our second chance sale. So please grab those. We also, I believe, have Pigeon Dev Games Collection. We have a couple copies left up there. We'll be shipping them out as soon as we can, so please be patient. We do have a small shipping assembly team, and they are working their butts off, and they are the real rock stars. So please just be patient. You will get your games. They will come. But just thank you so much for all our supporters. If you've already purchased and you've already pre-ordered, thank you so much. We wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, nor would we be able to do it without our amazing developers. So just shout outs to Bitwave and Unbound Creations for allowing us the privilege to put out Wonderling DX and Rain on Your Parade. So just thank you, everybody, and I hope you enjoy your games, and I hope you complete your challenges and do your unboxings and just have a lot of fun, because that's what life needs, more fun.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Barry, and I'll talk to you again real soon.
Thank you so much for having me. It was always a pleasure.
I'm the jokester, Mr. J.